What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Monday with Ray. On today's episode, we are talking about the ultimate compact worship bass pedal board. Wow, that is a long title. Let's get into it. So, welcome back. If you have been around this channel before, you probably know that I am primarily a bass player. I primarily play for worship bands and churches and stuff like that. And if you saw my last baseboard build video, that one was a little different. It was a bigger like ultimate baseboard kind of deal. So the main reason I built that was for just a couple gigs I had, and those are over. So I downsized into what I think is the ultimate pedal board setup for bass, for worship bass, stuff like that. Let me first start off by saying this is one dude's opinion on the internet, so take it or leave it, but let's dive into this guy. So first up, we are going to talk about the board. This is a Temple Audio Duo 18 board. I've had them in the past and wasn't in love with the pedal plate system, but this time around I just used dual lock and put it straight to the board, and I have been enjoying that setup a lot. Underneath we have the One Spot Pro CS6. This is an awesome power supply. I love the True Tone power supplies. That and then the new Fender stuff is what I have been using in my rigs. If we go to the top of the board, we have the pedal selection here. Now let's go ahead and dive into my secret recipe for a good bass worship pedal board. The first thing we're going to look at, needs to be on every board, is a tuner for your bass. I prefer the pedal tuners. I guess you could have a clip-on or something of that nature, but my choice, the Boss TU3. It's my favorite tuner. I love the light that you can see. I can see it outdoors and indoors as well. It's pretty accurate and all that kind of stuff. So that is the tuner. That's our number one slot. Number two is going to be compression. In this case, I have the Jam Pedals Dynacomp bass version. I love this compressor. Simple two-knob compressor. I'm a simple guy, so this one is one of my favorites. All right, number three, our third slot in the ultimate compact bass pedal board for worship. I'm going to go overdrive here, and I feel like the trend has been more overdriven bass tones in worship and stuff like that. I love heavy bass. I love overdriven bass. So I'm 100% for overdrives and stuff on bass. And my choice for this board is the Kilt V1 by JHS. You have the overdrive side on the left and then the boost circuit on the right, or the red side. All right, number four. This is where I'm going to put the amp or the DI, whatever you're using. I am using the HX Stomp. I love the Line 6 user interface. I've used the Stomp for years now. I run a couple different things in here, but the number four spot, we're just going to put amps. So I use the SVT style amp in this, and then we will dive into more of this later, but that is the number four spot. I know the HX Stomp can be seem a little pricey or something like that, but if you go ahead and pick one of these up, it's going to be way less than an amp. They also are on the used market for a couple $100 less. So I would suggest that for sure. And then the last spot that I'm going to just highlight is a DI, or something that will get you to the front of house. This being a worship board, I wanted a silent stage option, and just this JHS Colorbox V2 acts as my DI and will get me straight to the front of house. I think that's about it. That's really all you need for a bass pedal board, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and get on the desk and dive into this pedal board and see how I'm running this and some tones that we can get out of it. All right, guys, so here we are at the desk. Hopefully you guys can see everything all right. I have the mini baseboard here. We are going to go ahead and just go through the signal path, get some tones, and then get out of here. This is the bass, just straight dry, straight into the interface, nothing else, just the bass. So pretty lifeless, maybe, if you will. Not a great sound, but hey, that could do something with a little compression and stuff behind it. You know what I'm saying? So before we get too far, I'm using my number one bass. This is the Glory Guitars Cornerstone bass, made by a guy out in Minnesota. Check him out. I will link that down below. But let's start adding things to our signal path. So like in the intro, I gave you all the steps for this. We're going to first add compression. So here's that dry signal. So that cuts a lot of our volume, but when we add our amps, that is going to come way back. So here we're going to add our SVT. So a little more life, a little more rounded. And then to polish things off, we have the Colorbox V2. So here is... And to be honest with you, I'm using the JHS Colorbox in kind of a boring way, if you will. I'm using it as a DI, and then I'm basically using it as a hands-on, ready, like super available 3-band EQ if I need to. I have everything set at noon right now, and that's not really coloring our signal at all. But depending on which stage or where I'm playing at, there could be too much bass or not enough, or you need to tweak your mids or treble, and that is easily done by these knobs here. I'm going to leave them straight up today, but here is our final, if you will, bass tone. Alright, so now we can get into the effects and into the fun stuff. As you can see here, I have 3 effects on the HX Stomp, and then I am also using the Jet Micro, a fantastic piece of gear specifically designed for the HX Stomp, and that gives me 3 extra foot switches, and I have them labeled here. I'm using 2 modulation effects and then a distortion right here. In this slot, I have a fuzz. In this slot, I have an octaver. And then in this slot, I have a chorus, another modulation effect. And then, of course, over here, I have my drive section. So that's pretty simple, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and mess with this drive and see what that guy sounds like. Here's our dry signal. Adds a little beef. I usually play with a pick, so here's what that sounds like. That kilt just drives that bass tone through the roof. It's a fantastic sound. All right, here's the boost side just for fun. The only time I usually use that is if I do a bass run, or if there's like a bass riff or solo or something in a song. Usually I have that overdrive already on and then kick that boost on just to push myself out in the mix a little bit. So now we're going to get into the HX Stomp and the Jet Micro, which is most of the action we're going to see. We have a bunch of effects in here. Here is a chorus. So that is my main chorus. It's the 70s chorus in the HX Stomp. I also have another chorus on the Jet Micro. This is just a kind of a different setting. It's not the 70s chorus. It is actually the Ampeg liquefier. So here's what that sounds like. So kind of a faster rate and more depth on that one. The next one I have is a flanger effect. That one sounds like this. So the flanger is a little weird. Usually I don't use that on its own. I usually combine that with a fuzz or drive. Just add a little something something. And then the last slot on the Jet Micro is probably my favorite distortion circuit. It is a rat style pedal in the HX Stomp, and that sounds like this. Awesome. And then let's save the best for last, if you will. We have a triangle muff fuzz right here. That sounds like this. And I guess I skipped one, but we have the bass octaver. That sounds like this. Now, I know a lot of people love the micro synth. I do too, and I actually have one up on the shelf. Had it on a previous board, but the thing is huge. Takes up a bunch of board real estate, so I opted to kind of make my own sound, I guess. I usually just combine this bass octaver and then the big muff fuzz, and that sounds like this. And then if I'm doing intros or swells or something like that, I like to combine the chorus and the octave, and then you get something like this. These are probably my most accessed pedals, so that is why they are on the Stomp and right next to each other. I like to combine these two like this, so I can usually hit those in one foot switch or hit it right there. Both of those like that in one stomp with my foot. So that is how that is set up. Of course, there are plenty of alternatives out there. I love different drives on bass. You can try this 29 pedals flower. Something a little different. That can go from drive to distortion to fuzz. Probably my all-time favorite bass overdrive, that's not a bass overdrive, is the JHS Morning Glory. I think that sounds really awesome on bass. You could even do something like the Benson Germanium Boost. I think that adds nice color and saturation to the bass tone. You could throw a fuzz in there or a distortion in that section and run drives in your stomp or something like that. You could also swap the compressor out. I just got this Walrus Mira compressor. At the time of filming this video, they are discontinuing this pedal. You can get it for $129 straight from Walrus, so I'll link that down in the description below. But that would work. There's just tons of options that you can do in this setup. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this part. Let's go ahead and see this in the context of a song, and then we'll get out of here. right, guys, thank you so much for sticking around. Kind of a longer video, but I hope this helps you and inspires you to make a bass rig similar to this, or, you know, do your own thing. We're living in an age full of new technology and tons of different options. These are just the ones that I picked. So hope you guys like this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, leave me a comment down there, and don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell notification if you want to see more videos like this. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace. So first up, we have the board. This is a pedal. What is this?